You're checked in with the people's champ, Dre Rocca, on U92.
U92, your number one for hip-hop, and U92SLC.com, and now on 94.5 in Utah County. So salute to all our Utah County folks because, yeah, we had a really good signal with 92.5, and we're still 92.5 over there in Utah County, don't get me wrong. But there are some shadow parts where it kind of fizzes out. So if you're in Utah County, you have any issues, jump on over to 94.5 and you'll be able to hear us crystal clear clarity. I got my conversation with Lisa Barlow, my good friend Lisa Barlow from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Maybe you're coming from live from on air and you want to check out the full conversation. We'll look a little further. I got you covered. Unedited. We could jump into so much. We talk about Jen Shah because we seen the feds pull up on her in this last episode 9, season 2 of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So I'm excited for you to check it out. And if you will do me a big favor and just share this with a friend, maybe let a friend know about what's going on in our community. It's a dope thing here. And I appreciate everybody's support and love. I will shut up. And now is my conversation with Lisa Barlow.
Hey, Dre.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you're listening to this. Lisa, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Are you in NY still?
No, we just got back. It was a really quick but amazing trip. Oh, my God, I love going home.
When's the last time you got out there?
You know what? I'm out there quite a bit. I was just out there a month and a half ago.
So this is the time so I've always wanted to go to New York, right? And mostly because of the movie Home Alone, right? Like
yes.
The Rockefeller Center. I want to take my family out there. What is New York in the holiday season? During this time, what does that mean to you?
Oh, my gosh. You know what? Some of my favorite traditions as a kid growing up in New York is in fall, every single year, we went and got fresh, pressed apple cider, homemade donuts, the leaves changing. There's something in the air that's not like anywhere else in the world. It's just like magical. All the leaves changing, everything. It's so good. But, you know, some of my favorite holiday traditions in the city, like there's so many. There's certain restaurants we go to, my kids up until COVID always went to the Rockettes Christmas show. I got a little tongue-tied. And, you know, that was a tradition since I was a little kid. My mom would be like, get in your best dress, look your best, and, you know, just like go to the Christmas show. But it's magical.
Did you ever want to be a Rockette?
Of course.
We need to see the Lisa Barlow Rockette leg dance thing that they do.
Yes. I have a pretty good high kick.
I think we seen that when you were doing gymnastics.
Yes.
So when you go to New York, are you staying with family or do you and the family grab like a hotel or something?
You know, we always had a crash pad in New York up until a few years ago. So this trip, I actually stayed in a hotel, but we do have like lots of family. It's all about convenience, so it depends on what I'm doing. I'm a total Midtown girl. I love to eat downtown, but I love to stay Midtown, so it's close to like work and shopping and things like that. But you know, it's hit or miss, Dre. Like I think it just depends on what we're doing when we're in the city and how much time we have. Sometimes when you stay with family, they don't want you to leave.
So what you're saying is when people come into Utah, you're like, yo, go stay at the Grand America. You can't stay here.
Yeah, I'm like literally like when it's my house, I'm like the more the merrier. We actually renovated our house so we could literally host as many people as possible. So, but you know, like when I'm out there for work, when I'm in the city for work, you know, there's a lot of times where I'm like, I got to just stay focused, and it's hard when you're with family.
Yeah. What's the rule of thumb? Like, when does a body start smelling, and when do you got to tell them to get out of your house?
You know, I've had a lot of people stay with us for extended periods of time, so I don't know if we put an expiration date on things. I think we just like, I don't know. That's a tough one, but I've literally had families stay with us for like, they're like, oh, we're coming for 2 weeks, and it turns into 3 months. So
you are a better human than me because they got a weekend. That's it. You got a weekend, and then you got to get out.
That's amazing.
How is the house though? Like, you've been there, what? Is it 2 years now?
With what?
The new house?
Oh, you know what? We are, the house right now we've been in for a while. So we build and flip, and then sometimes we keep. So the one we've been in now, we renovated. We started, oh my gosh, it's been way too long. Like we're going on 19 months. But it was a complete gut, and it turned out amazing. I actually wanted my house to feel and look like a New York flat.
Nice. I don't know what that means, but nice.
Minimalism.
I'm actually looking for a home right now for my family, and it is so difficult because the prices are outrageous, and people are outbidding me every single time.
Yeah, the market right now, especially in Utah, isn't pretty much all over the country, but right now it's crazy. I think you should find a good place to rent until like this inflation stuff it's a lot.
Every time I see your story and you're driving around your neighborhood and you're showing us the mountain, I'm like, man, I want to live in that neighborhood.
Great. My neighbor.
Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't want me as a neighbor. I'd be like, yo, I need another bottle of Vita.
Oh, I would love it. I love to share.
Is your neighborhood decorating already?
You know what? On our street, 5 houses have their lights up already. Ours are going up, and about the day after Thanksgiving, our lights are going up, and I cannot wait.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait either. I know the boys are probably excited for it. Have they already made a list for mom and dad and Santa?
Oh, my gosh, yes, and it's long, and it's not cheap. The older they get, the more expensive it is for us, and then the real expensive stuff we leave for Santa.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I kind of have to blame you for something because we were watching this last week's episode number 9, and my son seen Henry's VR, and he was like, "Dad, I want one of those." And I was like, "Damn it, Lisa."
Yeah, they're amazing. They literally make me. I don't know how Henry can stay in the VR for like an hour. It literally made me so dizzy and so sick. I was like dying. But it's a good workout.
Yeah, so what was it? You were like skiing or something? It looked like you were like skiing or something like that.
Yeah, you know what? It was this really cool gorilla game where you're a gorilla and you're going through a park and you literally have to use your arms to climb up. It was so intense. And then when it spins you around, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be sick. My equilibrium is off for sure.
You're not a fan of cooking. We learned that on this last episode. You would rather be picking up Kendall's poop.
Yes. Cleaning toilets, picking up dog poop, like you name it. But, you know, John's an amazing cook. I like to bake. So no one in my family eats what I bake, but I'm actually an amazing baker. But John is a serious chef. Like, he is so good.
Yeah, so what do you usually bake? What's the go-to for you?
I make these amazing shortbread cookies that are to die. My mom used to make them. It's her recipe since we were little kids. And I would, like, literally eat, like, 2 dozen of them. And I make those. I make a bomb Swedish coffee cake. I used to do, like, really clever birthday cakes for Jack when he was little. Now we have an amazing baker, this lady that owns Salt Cake City. She makes, like, the best cakes ever, and they're, like, the craziest design. So I just use her now because of time. Yeah. But I actually love to bake. I make amazing, like, around the holidays, my pumpkin pie, my apple pie, like, to die for. But I have to say, my Swedish coffee cake is, like, the best I've ever had.
I am a sucker for a good sweet. And just knowing that you get down in the kitchen now, knowing that you bake, I'm going to be bugging you for some type of treat.
Oh, I will have to bring some over to you. And I'm really clean, too. My hair's in a hairnet. I wash my hands. I wear gloves.
I don't question your cleanliness at all. I mean, looking at that, we had episode number 9, and then afterwards it's the after show, and you were on there, and I was like, look at this gorgeous human being here. You looked amazing.
Dre. Thank you, Dre. That's so sweet of you. Thank you.
Who's the team? Who's the art? I seen you had some, you had a team with you.
I have a team that I love in New York. So there's a girl I have very long hair, and there's a girl named Lena in New York that she put in some, just some like extra extensions for me, and she makes the hair. It's like the highest quality of hair. So she just matched my normal hair, and there's a curl we call the Lena curl, and nobody else can do it. But the way she curls my hair, I've never had anyone else do it. So every time I'm in New York, I use Lena for my hair. And then there's 2 different girls I use for my makeup. So if I'm filming for Bravo, Priscilla does the best job. She does a lot of Bravo celebrities and is amazing. And then I have another girl that will come to my house or my, hotel, wherever I am in New York, and she kills it. And it's a totally different look. It's a little more New York natural, which is completely different. Like West Coast glam and East Coast glam are so different. New York, we're minimalist. Like most girls have dark hair, dark eyes. We just don't like to wear a lot of makeup. So I think they get that with me, but they just know how to bring out my dark features. So I loved my glam team. But you know what the best part? John and I were just talking about this, Dre. They're like my hype girls. I love being back with my New York girls. It's such an amazing energy. They just everything's fun, everything's light. We just had the best time. It just made the whole experience so much better.
That's awesome. I loved it. As soon as I really didn't hear that you were gonna be on the after show until maybe the last break, and they were like, "Stay tuned, because Lisa's gonna be on." And I was like, "What? What, she's gonna be on the after show?" I was super excited because I've been waiting for your turn to go on and do the after show with them. It was a lot of fun. Did you have fun doing that?
I had the best time. Chloe Feynman is hilarious. So, we got to chit-chat before we had to go out on stage, and we just had so much fun. We have a similar sense of humor, just really, sarcastic, funny, street kind of humor. And she is so smart, so quick. We just had so much fun. It just set the tone for an amazing night, and we all just had a lot of fun. I couldn't stop laughing when Chloe did her, she had to do the housewife quotes from the Salt Lake City Housewives in another famous person's voice, like Meryl Streep, or, that is so hard because you're being 2 different. She's being my personality with my quote with my personality with a celebrity's tone.
Yeah.
It was insane. I'm my brain works fast, Chloe's works on hyperdrive. It was amazing.
It is talented. I think comedians are they are the most talented people, and they have a really tough job, right? Because they have to find the funny in a lot of trauma as well.
Yes.
And that's extremely difficult to do, and I love it because it brings us joy, right?
It brings us joy.
In this episode, I think we seen something that I was not expecting. In this episode was you guys went and you guys did a cooking class, right? Essentially.
Yep.
And it was hosted by Mary. And Mary I don't know what's up with Mary in this episode. She kind of fell off the wagon a little bit.
No, you're seeing Mary. You actually are seeing Mary. That's Mary.
I was while I was trying to look past her wildness, I found a new favorite of mine is Meredith. I love what Meredith was talking about when she went on the couch and she was talking to Whitney. I don't know, but she just gave me a sense of comfort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Meredith is great because Meredith is very rational, and she went to law school, so the way she thinks is solution based. So Meredith is great. Yeah, Meredith is great.
Yeah. Something else that we seen on this episode was really it kicked off the season, but we've been waiting, which was the incident when you ladies were about to go out of town. You're on the transit. You're on the bus, right? And she mentions that her husband was in the hospital. She had to rush off, and you could just tell in that moment everybody was very concerned, right?
Yeah, very concerned. I mean, Sharice awesome, and the last thing you would want is for him to have any, kind of ailments or illnesses or trauma,
Yeah, and it was really bizarre the way the whole thing went down, and her telling them to take off the mic. You could tell she was in shock too, something really is going on, and then to see the cops come in, I think they said 12 minutes or 10 minutes after she left, it was really, really shocking. And bravo. Great job keeping the anticipation going for episode 10, because we will be locked in on Sunday. I can't wait. But in that moment, though, Lisa, you and Jen in this season, in season 1, very close. You guys are going through some things right now in the season. What were your thoughts going on? Like, what was going on in your head right now, like during that time?
For me, I was very, Jen and I had something we needed to talk about. So I thought Vail was going to be, the van ride to the house in Vail was going to be a time for Jen and I to have like a discussion, because, I'm really direct and super straightforward. Jen knows, there's a few things that like why Jen wasn't invited to my kids' photo shoot. And first of all, it was about my kids. It wasn't about anybody else. So I wanted to have some resolve with Jen about that, so that Jen and I were good. As you can see, I've been the one that's been championing, been Jen's biggest champion. I wanted her to have like a great year this year, be there for her. Like you can tell at the reunion, I had her back 2,000%. But friendship goes both ways, and you have to, not only you have to be a friend. If you expect someone to be a friend to you, you have to be a friend back. So there were some things that I needed to talk to Jen about, and it didn't mean that I was going to stop being Jen's friend. It just means Jen and I need to have a talk, right?
Yeah.
And so I was looking forward to that opportunity on the, very long van ride from Salt Lake City to Vail. And so, when Sharif called, when it's your friend and they're going through something, you want to be there for them. So the first thing that went through my mind is like, oh my gosh, I hope Sharif's okay. I hope Jen's okay. Maybe none of us should even go on this trip. Let's wait for Jen. So, my brain is working in overdrive, and I'm like, like you see production come on and say, are you guys considering not going? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely not. Like, we should wait for Jen. And then for a minute, I'm like, Mary didn't show up. Meredith didn't show up for this van ride. Maybe they have an alternate mode of transportation that's better than this one. And why am I not invited?
Yeah.
Brain starts thinking like that. And then I called John, and I'm like, John, you should call and check in on Sharif. I don't think Sharif is doing so great. They found internal bleeding. And, I'm just thinking about it. And then when you see the Fed show up, New York PD, NYPD, you see Homeland Security, a division of Homeland Security show up, my brain started working quick, and I was like, what is going on? And when Heather asked me, I should call Jen, and I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. I wouldn't do that, because it's like, that's her issue. Like, stay out of it. Let her, like, figure this out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a legal thing. So now we got to figure out. And for me, my instinct was, we own businesses, so we have to work with lawyers a lot. And so my first reaction is, there's a thing called the docket. And if somebody has a legal case against them, or against somebody else, they're pursuing a case against somebody else, it's on what's called the docket. So my first reaction was, let's get the facts. I'm a very pragmatic person. I want facts. I want to deal in reality. So my first reaction was, let's call, my lawyers and any lawyers that work with us or for us, and ask them what's on the docket. Are you seeing anything about Jen? Because one of the things that you'll see probably in the next episode is Homeland Security and NYPD is just like, we just want to make sure Jen's okay. So I was like, what is going on? Is Jen's, the first reaction is Jen's life in danger?
Yeah, that's exactly where my mind went.
Yeah. Is her life in danger? And last season, Jen had told me and a few of the other girls that when she was living in New York, there was a guy that was harassing her that ended up going into Rikers. And my first reaction was not that Jen did anything illegal, but did this gentleman escape from Rikers, and is Jen's life in danger, and is our life in danger? But, I wanted the facts.
Yeah, I think that, like you mentioned, you ladies being businesswomen, Heather, I mean, it's all going down right in front of her business. So,
watching Heather's body language, I wasn't thinking Jen was in trouble. I was like, Heather, what did you do?
I did. You know what? To be honest with you, like looking back, I could totally see that being like a thought. But, I look at some of the people on Twitter and stuff like that, and they're saying, oh, if I was in this situation, I would do this. I look at them and I'm like, but you're not in that situation, nor have any of us been in that type of situation where you not only have people from other like federal level type people, Homeland Security. That's not light.
No, and they guns. I mean, it was serious. Like, you're watching a federal division of the government show up, and everyone will love to. What you're saying is dead on, Dre. Everybody thinks they know what they would do. I mean, in a flight or fight situation, I know for a fact I would fight because I've been in that situation. I don't think people understand. You don't know how you're going to react until you're in the situation, and you have to realize your next episode, episode 10, you're going to go through all of our emotions. I mean, this is someone that you're like rooting for, trusting, care about, and all of a sudden you're like, what do we really know about our friends?
Yeah.
We don't really know much.
Oh my goodness, that is the anticipation is killing me. I look forward to season 2, episode 10 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Lisa, what last things do you want to say before we conclude today's conversation?
You know, I think that everyone has to be. I believe in due process, first of all. Like, when we're going through this journey with Jen, you have to allow every single person in America deserves due process. Like, we all deserve innocence until proven guilty. And you have to realize that you're seeing our raw emotions. I'm not going to apologize for any of mine. You're literally, I am not, like, normally I have John around me and I can process things through myself. We don't have the luxury of having a place where we can privately go through our emotions and feelings and thoughts. It is all being recorded. So you're going to see the most raw, intense feelings, emotions, thoughts all happening for us. And it's a lot. And I just think, you know, we wish everybody well. We wish everybody the best life. And I just think, like, you're going to go on a journey. And it's intense.
Wow. Well, get your popcorn ready. Get your Vita tequila ready, because season 2, episode 10 goes down this Sunday night, 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Make sure you tap in with Lisa as well. Her stories always kill me, just like the glam that I see of you. You're just a beautiful human, and I'm so glad to call you my friend. And yeah, I appreciate your time. I hope you have a good rest of your day, okay?
Okay. Love you, Dre.
Love you more. Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye.
You 92.